Picture this. Somewhere in America's vast wilderness, a bucket is buried. What's hidden inside? Weapons, cash, fake IDs, everything you need to kill. And the chilling truth, there are more, scattered from Washington to Vermont, Texas to Alaska, waiting. They call them kill kits. And the man who buried them, he planned perfect murders. I'm Matt Cochran, and this is Murder and Coffee. We're going to dive deep into the story of a killer you probably never heard of, Israel Keyes. Not infamous like Bundy, not notorious like Dahmer, but the FBI, they say he was the most meticulous, the most calculated serial killer they had ever seen. This is Murder and Coffee.
These new videos show Israel Keyes as he kidnaps his victim in Alaska and as he talks with investigators. It may help officials tie the confessed killer of Bill and Lorraine Currier to more cases across the country.
Back when I was smart, I would do it. I would let them come to me.
Israel Keyes describes to Alaskan investigators how he'd find his victims and murder them.
Kind of live in a remote area that's not anywhere near where you live, that the other people go to as well. You might not get exactly what you're. There's not much to choose from, manner speaking, but there's also no witnesses really. There's nobody else around.
The FBI hopes this latest video will stir new leads in the murder of 18-year-old Samantha Koenig. Authorities say this surveillance video from Alaska shows Keyes abducting Koenig from her job at a coffee stand in Anchorage on February 1st, 8 months after he murdered Bill and Lorraine Currier. Officials say Keyes had never met Koenig before. They say he showed a gun, demanded money, tied her up, and then placed her in the back of his pickup truck. Investigators say Keyes told Koenig he was kidnapping her for ransom, convincing her she would be returned to her family.
How many did he kill? 3 confirmed. 11 he claimed. But here's what sets him apart. No pattern, no preferences. Man, woman, young, old. If you crossed his path at the wrong moment, you were gone. What makes Israel Keyes so terrifying isn't just what he did, it's how he thought. This wasn't a crime of passion. This wasn't rage or impulse. This was mythology, strategy, preparation. He studied serial killers like a scholar. He learned from their mistakes. Ted Bundy, caught because he had a type. Keyes made sure he didn't. The Zodiac killer left clues, craved attention. Keyes wanted anonymity. He designed his entire approach to be undetectable, untraceable, unknowable. Israel Keyes, born 1978 in Richmond, Utah. His childhood, far from ordinary. A fundamentalist family, off the grid, no electricity, homeschooled, isolated. The Keyes family practiced a form of Christian identity theology, a belief system on the extreme fringe of religion. They believed in living separate from modern society. The children were taught to be self-sufficient, to distrust outsiders, to prepare for the end times. And Israel, he was different from the start, torturing animals as a child, cats, dogs, anything he could trap. These weren't childish experiments. By age 13, he told his friends about his violent fantasies, about wanting to hurt people. Warning signs were there, but in such an isolated environment, who was watching? By his teens, he had moved to Colville, Washington, a speck of a town near the Canadian border, where his darkness began to grow. 1998, age 20, Keyes joins the Army. Discharged in 2001, a normal veteran, or so it seemed. But something shifted during those years. Someone who knew him said the military gave him some skill, discipline, focus. Others wondered if it awakened something darker. The ability to compartmentalize, to follow a mission, to kill without emotion. Whatever happened, when Israel Keyes left the military, he was ready to become something the FBI had never seen before. Anchorage, Alaska. Keyes settles down in the early 2000s. He starts a construction business. He has a girlfriend, a daughter, and to the world, he's just a guy, quiet, hardworking, normal. Neighbors would describe him as polite, helpful, the kind of person who'd shovel your driveway. His girlfriend had no idea his daughter was his world by all accounts. He coached youth soccer, went to birthday parties, smiled in family photos. But beneath the surface, he'd been dreaming of murder for years, planning, preparing, waiting. From 2001 to 2012, Israel Keys lived a double life. By day, contractor, father. By night, hunter. And he was meticulous beyond comprehension. He planned years ahead. He took scouting trips across America, camping trips, road trips, innocent vacations. But these were missions. He studied locations, noted patterns, found vulnerabilities, and then he buried kill kits, 5-gallon buckets, sealed tight, sometimes wrapped in plastic bags and duct tape. What's inside? Guns, knives, zip ties, cash, duct tape, sometimes a change of clothes. Everything you would need to abduct, restrain, and kill someone. He'd bury them in remote locations, places he could find again, but no one else could stumble upon. Where, you say? New York, Vermont, Texas, Washington, Wyoming, possibly more. How many? Well, the FBI doesn't know. They found a few, but Keys hinted that there were more, many more. He would bury them and wait, sometimes years. Why? Patience. Unlike Bundy, unlike Dahmer, Keys had no type, no hunting ground. He killed randomly. His method was brilliant in its simplicity and terrifying in its implications. He'd fly to a city far from home, rent a car with cash, pay for everything with cash. No phone, no credit cards, no digital footprint. He'd drive to one of his buried kits, dig it up, and then he would hunt. Not for someone specific, just for anyone. The wrong person in the wrong place at the wrong time. He'd strike and then vanish, back to Alaska, back to his normal life. And investigators? They have nothing. No connection, no motive, no pattern, just a random, unexplainable crime. The FBI believes Israel Keys killed at least 11 people, maybe more, but only 3 have been confirmed. And the details? Horrifying. 2011 in Essex, Vermont, Bill and Lorraine Currier, a quiet couple in their 50s, married for decades, no children. They lived simple lives. Bill worked in sales, Lorraine was a nurse, and June 8th, 2011, Keys flies from Alaska to Chicago, rents a car with cash, drives to Vermont, digs up a kill kit he had buried years earlier, and then he hunts. He drives through neighborhoods until he finds the right house, the Currier's home. Random. No connection whatsoever. Middle of the night, he breaks in, quietly, efficiently. He ties them up in their own bed. At gunpoint, he forces them into his rental car. He drives them to an abandoned house he had scouted earlier, and there he kills them, both of them. Then he destroys evidence, burns the house, disposes of the bodies so well they've never been found. And then back to Alaska, back to his girlfriend, his daughter, like nothing happened. For months, their disappearance was a mystery. No witnesses, no evidence, nothing until Keys confessed. February 2012, Anchorage. Samantha Koenig, 18 years old, working the evening shift at a coffee stand called Common Grounds. Just a kid saving money for college, full of life, full of dreams. February the 1st, around 8 p.m., Keys walks up to the window, orders coffee. He's charming, normal. Then he pulls out a gun. He forces her to turn off the lights, to close up the stand, to empty the cash register. Then he ties her up and takes her to his shed, his property, where his family is sleeping just yards away. What happened next is too horrific to describe in detail. He assaults her, kills her, while his girlfriend and daughter sleep nearby. And then he leaves her body there, in his shed, frozen, because he had planned a vacation, a cruise with his family. So he goes for 2 weeks, smiles, takes photos with his daughter, has a drink by the pool, acts like a normal dad. Then he returns home. He stages a random photo, makes it look like Samantha is still alive. He sews her eyes open, applies makeup, poses her with a recent newspaper. He texts her phone, demands $30,000 from her family. Her family pays, desperate, praying that she'll come home. But Samantha, she's been dead for weeks. Keyes takes the money, uses her debit card, and this is where he slips up. ATMs in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, security cameras catch him using Samantha's card. The FBI gets the images, tracks the rental car, follows the trail. March 13th, 2012, Lufkin, Texas. Police pull over a white Ford Focus. Israel Keyes is arrested. At first, he says nothing, but eventually he starts to talk. Hours and hours of interviews. He confesses to Samantha, to the couriers, and then he hints at more. 11 victims, he says, maybe more. Bodies hidden across the country. But he plays games, withholds details, and demands things. Cigars, coffee, certain books. He wants to control the narrative. He wants to protect his daughter from knowing what he did. He doesn't want fame. He doesn't want to be studied. He just wants silence. The FBI tries everything. They bargain, they wait, but Keyes won't give them what they need. December the 2nd, 2012, Israel Keyes takes control one last time. In his cell at the Anchorage jail, he slashes his wrist. Then he strangles himself with bed sheets. And with him go the answers, the victims, the locations, the buried kill kits still waiting in the wilderness. He left a suicide note, rambling, poetic, in a very disturbing way. There were no apologies, no confessions, just his final thoughts. The ultimate act of control. Israel Keyes. The FBI calls him one of the most meticulous serial killers they've ever encountered. No pattern, no type, no hunting ground. Anyone could have been his victim. You, me, anyone. And those kill kits, they're still out there, buried, waiting. A few have been found by accident, by hikers, by construction workers. Each one a chilling reminder. How many more? We may never know. 3 families destroyed. Samantha Koenig never went to college, never got married, never lived the life she dreamed of. Bill, alluring courier, never retired, never got to enjoy their golden years together. And maybe 8 more families, maybe more, still waiting, still wondering, living without closure, without answers, and without peace. The FBI's investigation continues. They follow leads, interview people who knew him, search for kill kits. But every year that passes, the trail grows colder. Israel Keyes wanted to be forgotten. He didn't want infamy. He didn't want to be studied or analyzed. He wanted his crimes to disappear with him. But we can't let that happen. Not while families need answers. Not while his methods might inspire others. We have to remember, we have to learn, we have to stay vigilant, because the scariest truth of all, evil doesn't always look evil. Sometimes it looks like the helpful neighbor, the friendly contractor, the good father. Sometimes it's just the guy next door. This is Murder and Coffee. I'm your host, Matt Cochran. Thanks for joining me. If you want to dive deeper into cases like this, check out my books on Amazon. The link is in the description below. Until next time, stay safe out there. Remember, Trust your instincts. Lock your doors. Look out for each other. Like and subscribe this video. And be sure to tell a friend. Hit the bell for notifications. Because there's a lot more stories to tell.